Hey, it's springtime and you know what that means. It's strawberry season. But that also means it's barbecue season and potluck season. So to kick off this season of gatherings, let's make a strawberry cream cheese filled jelly roll cake. It's gonna be sweet. So to kick this off, we're going to put our parchment paper on our cookie sheet. And the reason we want to have parchment paper is later, when the cake is done baking, we're actually going to pull it off this and roll up the cake with the help of the parchment paper. Next, we're going to spray down our pan. And the reason I'm using so much is we're actually going to flour. The reason we flour the pan, and I know it looks like a lot, but trust me, trust the process. Look at that. Flour it is so the cake doesn't stick to the parchment paper. Because if you have it stick, then the outer edge is going to have holes in it. And we don't want that. You don't have to use cooking spray. You can actually use butter and do the same process. So now we're going to toss this because it's been used. And we're going to preheat our oven. So a couple things. I have my eggs here. And I have my milk with vanilla in it. Now these two items need to be at room temperature for this recipe. So I actually took them out about a half hour ahead of time, 15-20 minutes to a half hour depending on the amounts. And I also took out my cream cheese, which you need 7 ounces of, as well. That way it's easier to work with at room temperature. So first I'm going to take my eggs, pour them in the bowl. After that, now I'm going to beat. You want the eggs to become nice and fluffy. So this will take about 3 minutes. I won't bore you with the slow stuff. Okay, as you can see, they are light and fluffy. One, the color has changed from a dark golden color to like a lighter, paler yellow. And then you can see that there's a lot of air that was whipped into these. Now, we're going to add our sugar, but slowly, and incorporate that well. And you can see that the color is starting to change already just by adding that little bit of sugar. 2. You want to add it slowly so it doesn't lump, just like you would with flour. 3. Mix that in, scrape down the side. Next, we're going to add in our vanilla milk. And I actually, instead of using an extract, I'm actually using a paste to kind of bring out that sweet flavor. And again, we're going to beat for about a minute. Next, we're going to incorporate our flour. So this is a cup of flour with salt and baking powder in it. Powder is going to give us more of an even level of cake, you could say. Makes it a little more flat. Baking powder reacts with egg, and that gives us the rise rather than baking soda. Mixing this in and incorporating it. So we just want to make sure it all gets mixed in there. Don't want lumpy batter. I mean, who needs to work out when you can just whisk everything? You could do this with a hand mixer. If you're using a hand mixer for this, it says to beat it slow. Slow and low, that is the tempo. You know, you know. And then it says once everything's in there, beat on medium speed for about another minute. And I only have 2 speeds, slow and quick. Make sure I scrape down the sides of the bowl to get all the flour in. I don't see any lumps. Has it been a minute yet? Well, I don't see any lumps. So let's go ahead and pour it into our prepared baking sheet. Now let's pour our batter in. I'm gonna try and drizzle it from one side to the other. I'm using a rubber spatula to try and kind of get the rest of the batter into the pan. Remember, do not eat raw batter. That is how you get salmonella. Or, I mean, it's a good way to boost your immune system, but not in the way you're probably hoping. Spread the batter evenly. Let's see. Now, me personally, I do not like using parchment paper cakes. You need the parchment paper because when it comes out of the oven, that's what you're gonna use. And it's really weird. So basically when it's done cooking, you pop it out of the oven and you use the paper to help roll it up like a giant sushi roll. And then you let it cool like that. And then you put the filling. That way the cake remembers, kind of like muscle memory of where the rolls and the folds go. And then you just add your filling and call it good. I'm just trying to make sure it's as evenly distributed as possible because we want our cake to be yummy and good and very pretty in the end. Now it says we need to bang this on the table. Why? You see all that? Those are all air bubbles. You don't want air bubbles because that'll give you an uneven rise and it'll also put holes in your cake where you don't want them. The other weird thing about banging the cake on the table is it will actually help even out the cake. Now we put it in the oven and let it cook for 10 to 13 minutes. And in the meantime, let's get our filling ready. Well, now it's time to play cut the strawberries and not your fingers. So you're gonna take your strawberries, remove the greens. Don't worry, these are not going to waste. They have some green on them, but they got fruit on them. I'm gonna feed them to my chickens. So now I'm just gonna thinly slice my strawberries. See how pretty they are? Put them in a measuring cup. And basically you're gonna rinse and repeat this until you have a cup and a half of strawberries to put inside your jelly roll. And the awesome thing about this is if you have some ugly strawberries, and by that I mean like, look at this guy. Look at him. He's giving you a thumbs up. They will still be used. They will still be eaten because they go inside the cake. And what do they say? It's not the beauty on the outside that matters, it's what's on the inside. Well, what's on the inside is gonna be sweet, refreshing, and cheesy. So let's keep cutting. This just in, the cake, which I think is more like a sponge cake, needs to be checked. Let's see how it's looking. It's looking like cake. I'm gonna say it needs another 3 minutes to give that additional time it needs. Let's see. Yeah, it needs the extra time. But I will say it smells like I've made vanilla ice cream in my stove. Hi, are you a real human being who enjoys watching other people's kitchen fails? Well, I've got news for you. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I might just do that. So, our cake is done. And it says from here, we are supposed to use the paper to roll up the cake and cool. How am I gonna do that? Your guess is pretty much as good as mine. It doesn't say how many rolls, it doesn't say what to do. It just says, immediately remove cake, the baked cake with the parchment paper from the cookie sheet and roll up with paper still attached to cake. Place it on wire rack to cool. So, let's not burn ourselves and try this out. So I'm guessing you just, that's quite warm. I know what I'm gonna do. Let's do this. Let's not burn ourselves. Let's start with that. Now we have less chance of burning ourselves. So now, yes, I see the cake moving too. That's really not surprising. Let's get the cake up on here. Can you see? Can you see? Yeah. And now I'm holding it. It's not so hot. It's got nice. So, while this is cooling, oh so lovely and pretty like, I'm going to continue to cut some strawberries and work on the cream cheese. Okay. So now we're gonna work on our whipped cream. Cold bowl. It works a lot better if you put it in the freezer beforehand. Next, whipped cream. I needs 2/3 cup. Ooh, I did have enough. I wasn't sure because I've been using the heavy whipping cream to make Italian cream sodas lately, and they've been delicious. Add this in. I'm also going to add 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Then, this is a very, very, beat together cream cheese, sugar, and vanilla. And then gently fold in the whipped cream half at a time. No, we're gonna do it this way. We're going to do it the opposite. We're going to whip the whipped cream first, and then we're going to add the cream cheese after we beat that into here. So how much? 1/3 cup powdered sugar. I like using the bag to even it out, because then I don't have to get a knife dirty. Set that aside because we'll use that later for the strawberries. And we're gonna beat. Because no one wants to beat it. Again, if you don't have a current exercise regimen, I advise beating heavy whipped cream until you make whipped cream. And if you want to go further, use heavy cream and whip till you have butter. So that's what happens, because it is have a lot of fatness. So we'll come back when I have soft peaks. We may be here a while. I'm doing this heavy duty style. Why do I not have a whisk attachment? Well, a long time ago when I was whipping some cream cheese that was softened and things, I actually broke the tine and the whole thing went pa-ding and broke, and now I just use this. Yes, it does work just as well. Give me a moment and I'll show you. So in case anyone's wondering, this is a soft peak, because when you pull it out, yeah, I hope you understand the reference of soft peak. So now we're gonna switch gears and beat the whipped cream, we're gonna switch gears, switch over to beating the cream cheese, and then we'll fold it all together. This isn't working as well as I thought with one beater. Well, let's get it out and mix it all together, I guess. One thing I have learned over the years is rubber spatulas are your friends, and always start on the low end of everything. Oven time, spice requirements, because you can always add more to your preference. You can't take something away. The other thing I've learned is double check your recipes, just to read through it, because sometimes it has surprise steps that it didn't outline before. A lot of older recipes that are passed down, that someone told it to someone orally, and then the other person wrote it down as they were being told what the recipe was, or while they were doing it, and they totally forgot a step. So they're like, oh yeah, and by the way, do this thing. So start on the low end and read through more than once. Let's mix this up till we got some stiff peaks. And now I'm just gonna pop this in the fridge till that completely cools. And when it does, we will make a roll cake. The recipe says to add 3 to 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar to the strawberries. So I'm doing 1, 2, 3, mainly so the juice doesn't soak through the cake as much or as fast if they weren't. And then I'm just gonna mix it up. And then after I'm done with this, start spreading the filling inside our jelly roll cake and roll it up good. Ta-da! Well, shall we learn together? So now that it's cooled, I'm going to unroll. Hopefully, maybe. Very carefully. I think my countertops are gonna get sticky. So, let me put some wax paper down. There we go. Okay, now that that's done, let's spread some cream cheese. I'm actually pretty excited. I finally get to use this for the first time. It was a birthday present, and I just want to take it and smooth it all out. Ooh, it's actually looking pretty cool. I'm gonna take all the whipped cream, plop it in the center there. Isn't that how they do that in all the cake videos? Take it and plop it. My hands are clean, I promise. Spread out the cream cheese. My stomach is growling just smelling this and watching it, and I'm so looking forward to eating this. The only thing that sucks is after you're done doing this, you're supposed to wrap it in plastic wrap really tight, and then you're supposed to let it sit for a minimum of 4 hours in the fridge or overnight and then enjoy it. But I think I'm going to trim up the edges to make sure they're even. Maybe have myself a little slice. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Now that that's all nice and spread out, let's add some strawberries. I'm just gonna get some strawberries going, kind of spread them out. I guess it doesn't matter where you put them because it's all gonna roll up into one. The powdered sugar on the strawberry also makes the strawberries sweeter, which I don't know why I put it on there because these ones are already super sweet. I know because they're fresh, and I know because they're local. And while I was cutting one, it was 1 for the cake, 1 for me, 1 for the cake, 1 for me. And I did cut more than 1.5 cups just because putting them in the measuring cup, they weren't all laying flat. So I just kind of went until it was almost 2 cups. Now, let's get to wrapping. And welcome back to Let's Watch Me Struggle. So I'm gonna take the cake, grab it like this, and I'm gonna roll and roll. And I'm gonna try and pull it towards me. Maybe? Nope, ain't happening. Let's see. Ooh. That is a lot of strawberry juice. Okay. And just keep rolling. And I'm about to have the world's biggest mess. I may have put too many strawberries in there. That's okay, right? 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 Let's see. It's gonna have to go this way. Okay, this. I'm gonna put this like this. I am not actually going to cut it yet because I'm afraid if I cut it, I will have to recut it because I'm not that great with measurements. Okay, so I'm gonna move this over here. I'm going to, nope, don't do that. Okay. Take it and just pick it up. And I'm going to just set this right here as best as I can. Okay. Wrap that as best as I can. We'll pull a little more saran wrap out. And cut it. Okay. Now that I have this here, let's scooch this a little forward so you guys can see better. And I think I will wrap one end first, like so. Bring it down. Then I will wrap this end. Then kind of tuck this and pull up. Kind of keep that in place. Then take this. And now it goes in the fridge for 4 to 5 hours. So let's do that and then sneak a piece before I have to take it to a party tomorrow. So when we come back, hopefully we can try it. Okay, well, now it's been about 8 hours now. That smells really good. You can kind of see here, I trimmed off the butt end and only just a tiny itty bitty slice because this is going to a party tomorrow. So I wanted to make sure that I took a small enough piece that it wouldn't be too noticeable but understandable that I'd have to try it since it was the first time I've ever made this. So let's try it. The whipped cream cheese has firmed up a lot. The strawberry sauce has definitely soaked into the cake where it was able to, as you can see there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Because it's more like a sponge cake, but it tastes like I'm eating vanilla ice cream with chunks of cream cheese and strawberries in it. But everything has a real texture feel that you wouldn't get from an ice cream being made. Like my mouth is watering just from that first bite. The cake is really, really like eating ice cream, but spongy. The strawberries are sweet, but not overly done. I think because the cream cheese balances out that, but the cream cheese isn't so like exactly like a cheesecake. It's more like a cream cheese frosting, but it's kind of nice because it isn't overly, I want to say sour, but that's not the right word for the cream cheese. But it is really good. And this is something I definitely want to try again. Maybe with strawberries from my own garden, not regular ones. I want to try it with the pine berries. They're the ones that are white with red seeds and they taste like pineapple. So that would be a fun twist to try. But as always, eat up.